This project has many, many partners. Importantly, two I think there are many features of future institutional ecosystems that are really going to drive more sustainable outcomes. But I think what's really important is to think about the design or the structure of an institutional ecosystem and making sure that the mix of sectors is right, not just disciplines. So we need the regulatory sector, we need the policy arm, we need the practitioners, but importantly, which is often left out, we need the money. We need the business sector and or the aid sector to be part of that institutional infrastructure. And to bring that institutional infrastructure together, but to also give it energy and give it life and give it momentum, one, really a common vision or a common mission needs to be forged. A mission that not only different disciplines can see themselves, whether an engineer or a planner or a health specialist, can see themselves making a contribution to, but also a vision that different organisational types across those different sectors can also see themselves having a mandate to contribute to. So the project that I'm talking about, our vision is about reducing the number of deaths or preventing the number of deaths of children under the age of 5 from diarrhoea and other sorts of diseases based on waterborne vulnerabilities that in the catchments that they live in. This is a broad enough vision that an architect can see their role in reshaping the environment, an engineer can, an economist can, a medical infectious disease specialist can, a development bank can, a government agency, a policy arm, water health organisation can, right through to the local councils in those more vulnerable communities. So definitely framing a common vision and mission and having a global frame to it that can be expressed locally, I think is really important. Probably the second point would be what people might have heard is the T-shaped professional or the T-shaped researcher. We need people with deep expertise, but they have to have deep expertise and know the context they're working in. So a social scientist that understands social norms, understands how communities are made up and how social capital can be analysed and deficits in that and opportunities to grow that, but also understand how that social capital connects to physical infrastructure, connects to the physical environment, connects to the policy sector, connects to how the local and the regional and perhaps global economy works. So it's actually really important that the individuals involved in leading that institutional ecosystem, seeking a transformation in practice, has those T-shaped qualities. And I think giving institutional support is really important. To make those ecosystems work, there needs to be a process of bridging some shared KPIs, having agreed codes of practice, all organisations contributing resources in one way or another. So making sure that the ecosystem collectively has skin in the game. It's not just a straight traditional purchaser-provider funding relationship that underpins that ecosystem. I think that's really important. But perhaps, particularly in the formation of new ecosystems, my observation is that the role of narrative and all the players involved in that project, that program, or that institutional transformation exercise bring a very compelling narrative to the problem and to the solution. So the first thing that they need to be really strong on in the narrative is what is the value to the environment and the value to the community of bringing the ecosystem together. And what I have seen in the past is when that narrative is less compelling, is when it's one-sided, when it's really talking about the environmental case, the business case and the community case for a change in practice or for the change in innovation. And my experience is it only gets you so far. It has to be coupled with the narrative on why current practice has served society well. It honours the legacy, but that narrative really points to why current practice has now served its time, why it's unsustainable, and why it needs to be retired. So the narrative has to be the business case, environment case, and social case for the problem and for the potential solution. There needs to be a business case, a science case, a community case for the innovation, for the proposed solution, and the experiments needed to learn from that. And then there needs to be a really strong narrative that honours the past, honours past and current solutions and what it served, but equally a very strong narrative on why it needs to be retired. And this is like, I suppose, the political energy or the political capital of an institutional ecosystem. And I think those components are critical for bringing about transformational change.